Here comes Success Coach Andy, the most beneficial advice program on the radio. For the next hour, you'll learn about success and happiness and how to take control of your life. And now, here's Success Coach Andy Shepherd.
This is Success Coach Andy. I'm Andy Shepherd of Shepherd Success Coaching, here with you every Monday at 9 p.m. on Independent Talk 1100 KFNX. As you know, this show is all about success. It's all about your success. We all have a different opinion of what success is. Some people think that it's about the traditional idea of success is that we become millionaires and we have a mansion and we have a Rolls Royce and so on and so on. We can go on holiday whenever we want, and we've just got a ton of money and we kind of sleep in a pile of like $1 million or whatever. Well, this to me, that can be success if that's really, really what you want, and for some people that is what it's got to be. But I just want to introduce another concept, that success is much more than just having more money than you can deal with. Success is about living life on your terms and being able to do the things that are really important to you. So I'm hoping to inspire you to free yourself from the rat race, to not go around anymore and doing mundane jobs which just pay for your existence so that you've got rent, or you're paying your mortgage, or you're paying for your car, you're paying... these are all things that are so necessary, yes. But what I want is for each of you to have more than that, to be able to have an existence, to be able to be doing things that you really enjoy and that are really important to you. And at that point, in my opinion, this is when you'll be successful. I talked to a brilliant person, guy last week called Bajal Palmer. It was at an event, and I was listening. I was in the front row listening attentively, and he came out with a concept which was very interesting. And he said that success is dependent on finding what your personality is. So what does he mean by that? Your personality is to find out the depths of really who you are, what makes you tick, what your passions are. And when you've found your passions and you start living them, then there's something really magical that happens with your life. You start to really unleash this phenomenal power that we all have within ourselves to make things happen, to make incredible things happen. And when you're linked into this, when you're doing something meaningful, when you're going for what you're doing, the thing that you were born to do, then it's as if God, if the universe, I don't know what, it's like connected to you and starts really giving all of these things to you. So that's just something that I'd like you to think about tonight and for the next week. Tonight I have a very, very special guest and a great friend of mine as well. His name is Mitchell Axelrod, or Mitch for short. He's the founder of Axelrod Associates, a business consulting firm, Axelrod Learning, a publisher of business and life skills training, workshops and materials, consulting and speaking since 1978. Mitch has presented more than 3,500 live seminars, workshops, lectures, keynotes, webinars, and clinics on business sales, marketing, life skills, and playing something called the new game, and more on that later. He's trained more than 1 million people in playing and winning the new game. So it gives me great pleasure to be introducing Mitch Axelrod, and I also want you to know that he's going to make a special offer about a lifetime training and 3 months group coaching, so more on that later. So good evening, Mitch. How are you?
Good, Andy. Great to be with you, as always. Good to chat with you.
Absolutely. It's always a joy to, I'm so grateful for you being on the show because I've seen you at various events presenting, and I've talked to you, and I don't know, I just get such pearls of wisdom whenever I talk to you, and I get so much out of it, and I'm so happy that you're on the show so that you can be sharing this with other people as well. This is just phenomenal. So, what would you define success as being? I give various definitions each week, and I kind of extend the boundaries of what success is. What would you say success is in your terms, in your opinion?
Well, it's a kind of a hard thing for me to wrap my arms around because I look at success kind of as a concept. I don't see success necessarily in the same vein as a lot of other people see success as like a destination or an achievement or an attainment. To me, success has always been playing for the love of the game, whether it's being a parent, which I was a full-time single stay-at-home dad for 10 years, or whether I'm playing the game of business, or whether I'm just, relaxing at home. So for me, it's really always, just playing for the love of the game. And to me, life is a game. It's meant to be enjoyed. It's not meant to be endured. And so I've always felt like success is kind of an elusive, subjective, like you say, you ask 100 people, you get 100 different definitions. So I kind of look at it as, a three-dimensional model, if you will, or a three-dimensional part. You've got your soul, you've got your role, and you've got your goal. And you and I have talked about this. You've heard me share this.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, success is a nice combination of soul fulfillment, role satisfaction, and goal attainment. But that's very different. I call it the new game of success compared to the old game of success, which I think was very much goal, goal, goal. The bigger, the better. The more you had, the better you were. Whereas I sense that more people today are looking for the other two dimensions of life, not just the goal, but the role and the soul. So that would be my broad definition of success.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I love your definition of that. If you just tuned in, you're listening to Success Coach Andy. I'm Andy Shepherd on Independent Talk 1100 KFNX. Tonight, my special guest is Mitch Axelrod, the founder of a business consulting and training firm, keynote speaker, author, and player of The New Game, which is his revolutionary sales strategy. Go to www.thenewgameofselling.com/insider. That's www.thenewgameofselling.com/insider for lifetime training and 3 months group coaching. I really recommend that. So let's continue to talk to Mitch about his secrets to success. I think this is really true. People need to realize that success is something that's personal. Each person is going to have a different definition of success. And I think, what I want is for people to start breaking the mold and forget about the Hollywood term of what success is. Success is being able to be you said that you looked after your son. You stayed at home and you took care of your son. Is that right, Mitch?
I did. I was a speaker, as a full-time speaker for 7 years when my wife and I had divorced, and so I didn't want to be a weekend dad. So I decided to get off the road as a full-time speaker and become a full-time stay-at-home dad. And if you look at the old definition of success, I don't think you'll see stay-at-home dad, as one of the descriptive phrases that describes, success. Yet to me, that was the most important thing I could do. It was the most valuable thing to me. It fulfilled my soul. At the time, it was the perfect role for me. I didn't give up my business. I just put my business in a secondary position to parenting. And I didn't worry so much about my own goals and accomplishments. I was really much more aligned with spending time with my son and being a parent and still being successful, with the quotes around successful in a business. I just wasn't, I wasn't addicted to my business, and I wasn't obsessed by my business, and my business didn't run me. And I think that's a really big distinction between what I call the old game of success, where the goal was the master, it wasn't the servant. And in the new game of success, I see people wanting the goal to be the servant, not the master, because they're really seeking more in the dimension and realm of soul and role. So for me, it worked out really well. For other people, success is defined differently. And so, you really have to look at what matters to you. Is it a thing that you get or something that you become, or does it describe who you're being as you play this game of life? If it's just success is just something you achieve or attain, or it's something in the future you may get to eventually someday, then success becomes kind of an all or nothing, win or lose game. Whereas if you say, I'm being myself today, I'm being fully expressed in who I am, well, guess what? That's success. So I think people are looking for a much broader definition than, what the old definition was, very narrowly described as financial success, material success, the things you talked about earlier.
Yeah, and that's where it caused so many problems and, so much stress for people. And I think that this is why people really started having nervous breakdowns and illness, because they just weren't in alignment with who they truly were and what they truly wanted. Because there's this image of to be successful, I need to have the best car, I need to have a bigger car than my neighbor or whoever that neighbor might be. It could be somebody, neighbor is like inverted commas, it could be your peer or somebody at work or whoever it is that you've decided, I'm going to be bigger and better than that person. And this kind of leads into your brilliant book, The New Game of Selling, which I've nearly completed. I mean, you say that it's a book that you can read in an hour. Well, for me, I digest it, and I've been reading it very, very slowly and really taking on board every part of it. And I'll be honest with you, it's like, sales is something that is important to everybody. I mean, we're all selling something. For example, when you're a baby, you're already kind of negotiating, because you're saying, I'm going to stop screaming if you do one of two things. You either feed me or you change my diaper. And so there's a bit of a negotiation going on. And so we're all doing some kind of negotiation. And I was always turned off by sales because, the way that I'd been taught it is, that you basically, it's like, I've got to make money, and so I need this other person to buy from me, and that's it, end of story, and go through the traditional way. And I love the way that the new game of selling and the concept of it, because it's fair for both sides. What you're doing is you're investigating what is it's much more than this, and you can explain it much better than me, Mitch, but you're going in there with heart and saying, okay, what I'm about is I'm going to find out what is best for you as the consumer, but I'm not seeing you as that. I'm seeing you as a person that I'm having a relationship with, and you build relationships and find out what's best. And you're never going to sell them something that's not going to be beneficial to them. And I just love what you've written. Have I kind of paraphrased the book reasonably?
Yes, the game has changed. the people that I've worked with over the years, I've trained over 1 million people in the new game principles and the new game methodology and what I call the game plan, the playbook, and the plays. And it's created $3 billion of revenue. So it certainly has a track record of success. And that's because it resonates with people at a visceral level, at a gut level. You know, the old game really was a game of you have the money, I have the product. My game is to get the money out of your hands and put my product in your hands. And anything that I do or say or anything I can come up with that can make that transaction is fair game. But when the Internet came along, the game playing field shifted. Originally, I wrote the new game of business in 2004. And that book was about how the game of business had changed and the playing field had changed and what were the ramifications for businesses. In 2013, I wrote the new game of selling after having really taught it to hundreds of thousands of people. And what we're finding is that people really resonate with it because it's no longer about trying to persuade people to buy. It's really about advising people to do what's in their best interest. And really, when you advise people to do what's in their best interest to do, even if they don't buy from you today, you really establish a much stronger bond with them, which could potentially lead to far greater business than if you try to sell them a product today because you have to make money and it's inappropriate for them. So the fundamental shift is it's not a game, a competitive game, a vendor and a buyer. It's a collaborative game where you're really out to help somebody make a good decision in their best interest. And when you do that, I found in my career, 35-plus years and counting, that you always win when you help other people make good decisions in their best interest. So the new game of selling shows you exactly how to do that, how to attract the ideal customers you're best suited to serve, how to qualify them so you don't waste your time with people who are just getting ready instead of people who are ready, how to convert browsers to buyers very comfortably without ever using a closing technique and without ever having to overcome an objection, then how to keep customers coming back, multiply your return on investment. So it's a comprehensive game plan, playbook, and plays for how to attract, convert, and keep customers.
If you've just tuned in, you're listening to Success Coach Andy. I'm Andy Shepherd on Independent Talk 1100 KFNX. Tonight, my special guest is Mitch Axelrod, the founder of a business consulting and training firm, keynote speaker, author, and playing the new game, which is his revolutionary sales strategy. Go to www.thenewgameofselling.com/insider. That's www.thenewgameofselling.com/insider for lifetime training and 3 months of group coaching. This is unmissable. You really need to go to that site. Mitch, I really love this. You know, we're advising people to do what is in their best interest. I mean, I think this is what people are forgetting. It's like they're forgetting that whatever we're doing in life, we need to be thinking, well, what is it? We do so much stuff for ourselves. And, you know, I think people are just forgetting about what the other person needs. And this is a big game changer when I stopped thinking of myself and started thinking of other people. Not only did I start feeling better about myself and feel better in general, but I started getting a much better relationship with people, and my whole world started, you know, really going in a different place for the better. What are your thoughts on that, Mitch?
Well, I agree with you, and the idea of the new game is highest and best for all.
Yes.
And for a lot of us who don't put ourselves first, we put other people first, we sometimes forget that the highest and best also includes us. So I would say that if you're the kind of person that is overly concerned about others, and you put other people ahead of you, then the antidote to that is very simple. Just start treating yourself with the same level of respect and reverence that you treat others. And then you'll equalize the equation, because highest and best means highest and best for everybody in the relationship. And if you're the kind of person who tends to like to get your way and your results, but you don't care so much, or you don't really concern yourself so much about others, then you're kind of on the other end of the spectrum, and I suggest just the opposite for you, is spend a little bit more time asking other people, hey, what do you need, what do you want to make this the highest and best relationship that we can have? And this way, we don't play that old game of shoot high, and then compromise. I don't say compromise, I say maximize. So I agree with you, pay attention to other people, but also remember, you're part of that equation too, and you deserve to get the highest and best as well as everyone else that you serve. So that would be my comment about that.
Yes, thank you. You're right. I think that's the part of the equation that's definitely missing, because, first off, we start thinking about ourselves, and it's just selfish. We just want for us. And then when we start giving to other people, we stop looking for what's best for us. I love this phrase that you said, highest and best for all. I mean, if we could just live that one concept, I mean, that would be, have world impact, change for the better kind of thing. That's phenomenal.
Well, that's the mantra in the new game in general, and it applies in every new game we're playing. And then just let me say one last thing, because I know we're coming close to the bump here. Mm-hmm. I like to look at success is not a prerequisite for happiness. And if you think about it, a lot of us are chasing success as if when we get there, we will be happy. But success is not a prerequisite for happiness. But it does seem that happiness is what success tends to seek. And if you think about that sentence, happiness is what success tends to seek, if you think about why are you seeking the things that you're seeking, the quote success, is it because when you think you are successful, you'll be happy? So I say, you don't go happy, you don't get happy, you don't have happy, and you don't do happy. You have to be happy. And when you be happy, no matter what's going on around you, you can manage to stay happy amidst even tragedy that goes on in your life. And so that would be my parting words as far as, that whole idea of success is not a destination where you're going to, it's really where you're coming from.
Yeah, I'm completely with you there, Mitch. That was very beautifully said. For me, the first thing, the principal thing that we need is, to be happy, fundamental. And the strategy that you've just given and how to get there, is just brilliant. So, Mitch, I really want to thank you for being on my show. Thank you so much. It's been great.
Nice to be with you, Andy. Thanks for inviting me. Look forward to doing it again.
Tonight's special guest was Mitch Axelrod, the founder of a business consulting and training firm, keynote speaker, author, and playing of the new game, which is his revolutionary sales strategy. Go to www.thenewgameofselling.com/insider for lifetime training and 3 months group coaching. That's www.thenewgameofselling.com/insider. I'm Andy Shepherd of Shepherd Success Coaching. Tune in next Monday at 9 p.m. for more Success Coach Andy. Avita Rampart will be giving away her secret sauce to success and sharing how to cure cancer naturally. You're listening to Independent Talk 1100 KFNX.